Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available 2300 BJ. That means before Jaclyn, not what you thought it meant. The album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy, AF, Rock on Gold Dust. Players only love you when they're playing. Rhiannon rings like a bell through the night, and wouldn't you love to love her? Woo! How are you guys doing today? Happy Wednesday. I just got home from Cousin Fun Day. Cousin Fun Day is when my cousin Caroline, hey Cousin Caroline, comes and picks me up, and we go and have brunch. Today we went and had brunch at this place here in Indianapolis called Yoke. I had a vegetarian scrambled frittata. It was so delicious. And my cousin Caroline had a hamburger and onion chips and a Diet Coke. And then we ran a bunch of errands, and we went to the Fashion Mall. We went to Abercrombie. We went to Macy's, we went to Von Maur, we went to Costco, we went to the post office, and then we went to Crumble Cookies, and I got my Crumble Cookies for the week to review, so I'm going to be doing that review today. So if you like my Crumble Cookie reviews, those will be over there today. And now I'm home and I'm filming some videos. So hi, how are you? Before I get into this drama video today, talking about Jaclyn Hill, I have two things to talk about with Jaclyn Hill today. I want to talk about, number one, I want to talk about how I was hoping and praying and wishing and hoping for Jaclyn that she had made a change and that she was going to start effectively and efficiently and adequately disclosing when things were an ad or an advertisement, or she was getting paid, or it was a sponsorship or whatever. But apparently that only lasted for one Instagram post, and then that was over. She said, I've had it, I'm done. We were rooting for you, Jaclyn. We were rooting for you. Peace. Apparently, it doesn't matter to Jaclyn to be a good person or to do things legally or to do things right. She just doesn't care as long as she's making the money. So we're going to talk about that. But I also want to talk about the fact that Oprah magazine, Oprah Daily, they included Jaclyn's brand Cozy, her slippers, on this list of like 30 items to give somebody for their 50th birthday. And I think it's very, very interesting that they didn't vet out the fact, especially when they just had an article that they did just a couple days ago that I found on Oprah Daily, that they had done an article, and listen, Linda, listen, if you watch my Peterisms channel, you know, like, I'm a huge fan of Oprah Winfrey. Do I think that every article that runs in her daily post or her daily website or magazine is seen and approved by Oprah? No, okay? But just a few days ago, she did do an article where she listed, like, they do, like, these different lists of her favorite things now. Back in the day, oh my God, I love to watch Oprah's favorites when she'd say, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a... I loved all of that, right? When she would talk about her favorite, you know, hot chocolate, and her favorite this, and all that. I loved that. And then everybody in the audience got one, and it was always right before Christmas. Do you remember? But anyway, so now they have on the Oprah Daily website, they have, like, all these different lists. And just like a week ago, she did a list of all of, like, I think it was like 25 or 30 items to buy that were all from brands that were like women owned and operated. So it was like the whole idea was to support women and their brands. So I think it's very interesting that the same website endorsed Jaclyn Hill and the Be Cozy brand when Jaclyn has been scrutinized and criticized for the fact that she allegedly stole Kaylin Nicholson's brand name, which a lot of people are like, just get over it, blah, 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 whatever. But I think it's very interesting, and so I want to talk about that in length because I also think it's interesting when you look at this whole idea of how this article came about, and people are suggesting that maybe Jaclyn paid to get her slippers on this article and whatever. And I don't know how that works, okay? So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But before I do, I want to say I watched this documentary the other night. My friend suggested it. My friend Tanya Jean. Hey, Tanya Jean! You know, my best Judy, Tanya Jean. Anyway, she called me up and she said, you have got to watch this documentary. She said, it's the best recovery documentary I've ever seen. And so I watched it. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's called Bobby Joe Under the Influence. Now, when I tell you that I have watched probably every recovery documentary that is out there, probably every recovery movie that is out there, anything that has to do with alcoholism or addiction or sobriety, I've watched them all, you know? And I was blown away. Hands down, I think this is the best documentary, and Bobby Joe is so inspiring and so motivating, not just for recovery, but just in life and the act of service. And I think the documentary is really fantastic. First of all, for all of you out there that are in sobriety, and I know the sober fam over here is strong and large, and by family, I mean that when we're all sober together, we say, hey family, how are you? So hey family, how are you? If you want to put your sober date in the comment section below, I love reading those. I think it's fantastic for anybody in sobriety to see. I know when I watched it, the question I asked myself when I got done watching it is, wow, like I could be doing so much more service than I am doing now. And what is the mission of my sobriety? And is it just planting a seed, or is it doing this, or is it doing that? Because there's a lot of things that I do outside of this, but it made me really ask myself, what do I need to be doing? You know, like what's the next thing? And it really inspired me. And for people that aren't sober and people that aren't in recovery, or maybe have family members or addicts or alcoholics, I think it really helps you understand things from our point of view. And so it's a great documentary all the way around. So I wanted to shout it out because it just blew me away. It blew me away, and it's called Bobby Joe Under the Influence, and it's on Amazon Prime, so you can go check it out over there. All right, so let's get into this video at 6 minutes and 46 seconds. Timestamp that. Boost! All right, so tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I don't want a Jaclyn Hill video. Well, you guys, I did something different yesterday than I've done in a long time, and that was a Trisha Paytas video, and didn't nobody want to watch it, okay? And I have to tell you what is so funny, that people come over here and they're like, you always talk about the same 4 to 5 people. Why do you always talk about the same 4 to 5 people, okay? I would love to talk about other people. And it's funny because often I will get that comment, like under a video, and somebody will say, God, I'm so tired of you always talking about the same 4 to 5 people. And sometimes I respond to them and I'll say, hey, give me suggestions, like who would you like me to talk about? I'm willing to talk about anybody. Silence, crickets, they don't say anything, right? Because they don't have any recommendations. I'm willing to cover any drama over here if it's something that I know about. And I'm going to tell you something that, well, this is what I was going to say. So when I do the videos, you know, that are the same, like the other day I did like an Oscar predictions video. It fell flat, right? Which was fine because I had fun doing it and I don't really care. But the thing is that's funny is when I do videos, like if I made a Jeffree Star video and, you know, said something about, oh, Jeffree Star caught in some huge lie again, people would watch it. And so those videos that I do talk about the same 5 or 6 people in are the videos that people wanted to watch. I would love to make videos about other people, so let me know. But I will tell you this. I get requests every once in a while for magazine videos. So if you haven't watched my channel for a long time, you might not know. I timestamped this at 6 minutes and 46 seconds, and here I am going on. But magazine videos are something that I did like in my first year of doing drama videos, and I would go and I would get like Us Magazine, OK Magazine, The Inquirer, Star Magazine, all those. And then I would read through them, and I would call them magazine videos, and I would just respond to whatever the articles are. And so I am going to be doing magazine videos again over on my channel. I miss doing them. I know they're not going to get great views. I don't care. I just had so much fun doing them, and I get requests from people that have watched my channel for a long time. And so I'm like, you know what? I want to do things that make people happy. I want to do things that are fun, right? The other thing is, I think that I'm going to start doing more pop culture videos over here. I should have covered the Selena Gomez and, and Hailey Bieber thing. I should have covered that, and I didn't, right? And I didn't cover Scandival, okay? About the Vanderpump Rules thing, and I should have, because I had an opinion about it. I just didn't know that much about this stuff. And so I look at these things, and, you know, I should have talked about Jen Shaw, you know, and all this kind of stuff over here, because I do know a lot about that from watching Salt Lake City. But the thing is that sometimes I feel like if I get in a video and I just kind of share my opinion, then I'm like, well, what do you guys think about it? It's not enough if I don't know every fact and every detail. But listen, Linda, going forward, I'm like, forget that. I'm going to make the videos that I want to make, and I'm going to have fun with it. And I really want you guys to share your comments and what you think as well. So I'm going to be doing this a lot more pop culture videos over here and things like that. So we're going to mix it up. We're going to mix it up a little bit over here because, trust, I'm tired of talking about Jaclyn Hill and Michaela every single day too. But I think I might be talking about Michaela tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hopefully something pops off tonight. Okay, so 10 minutes. 10 minutes was my intro today. Woo! Don't you love a good intro? Okay, so this video was filmed 2300 BJ. That means before Jaclyn. Before there was any drama, that was before Jaclyn. Okay, so let's talk about what happened. So, I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I made a video, and I was talking about how Jaclyn actually came out and she disclosed. And it was in this, like, this Instagram ad that she did for these Stanley Cups, which was so funny because so many people in my comment sections, this is where people, like, I love that people say, I watch for you. I don't even know about this drama or these people and I don't care and I live and I just want to say thank you. That makes this old man's dreams come true. I just really appreciate that. But anyway, so many people were like, I thought you were talking about like the hockey Stanley Cup. I didn't know you were talking. So these Stanley Cups are like the thermos cups, you know, the double wielding cups or whatever for water or cold drinks or whatnot. And she had shown that Stanley sent her these cups and that she's been using them and they're her favorite cups in the entire world. Everything is always Jaclyn's favorites. But I will say this, and credit to her, she has been using these cups for quite some time because I've seen her Instagram stories and she's got one in her hand when she's working out and things like that, right? So is it a natural sponsorship? Yes, I think it is. What I think a natural sponsorship is when you see somebody using something and then they do a sponsorship with it. And typically what happens is the company reaches out to them and says, hey, like, you know, we realize you like us, blah, blah, blah. Like, I talk about Crumble Cookies all the time. So if I did a sponsorship with Crumble Cookies, it would make sense. That would be a natural sponsorship, right? Okay. So she does a sponsorship and she hashtags in there at the bottom, ad. Now, I didn't get into a bunch of all this kind of stuff in the details yesterday because I was like, stay out of the weeds, congratulate Jaclyn on the fact that she disclosed, whatever, right? But the thing is, I had just in a video talking about her fiance Jordan, talked about how the hashtag, talking about it being an ad, has to be the same size as the affiliate link, which it wasn't, okay? And it was all the way at the bottom, and it was on white, so it kind of bled into the background, which you also can't do per FTC guidelines. It has to be like in a bright color, context, they call it. So it would have to be like in red, so you can see it up there, right? She didn't do either one of those things, but she still did disclose that it was an ad. And I said in my video, which meant that she was either doing a sponsorship or it was like commission affiliate links. That for every sale or every time somebody hit that link and bought from it, she would make so much money off of it, okay? Which was interesting to me. Because then she came out the next day in a Instagram story, which I'm not going to show you guys, with her niece, because her niece is in it, so I don't want to put her niece in a drama video. But she came out with her niece, and they're like showing the Stanley Cups and all this kind of stuff, and Jaclyn said that she can't even believe that they're still available because they sell out like that, which I thought was interesting because she's talking about how she did this ad with them, right? And now she's talking about how they didn't sell out, trying to get people to go buy them to some degree, right? But then she links the affiliate link again. She talks about how they have all these cool colors and people are asking her about these cool colors and all this kind of stuff, right? And then she links the affiliate link again, but she didn't link hashtag ad. Well, girl, you're still talking about these Stanley Cup things, and even if that specific post is not an ad, it still goes to the ad that you did the day before, right? Like, sponsorships typically say things like, we're going to pay you such and such amount of money for 2 TikToks or 3 posts on Instagram or whatever. So yes, maybe she isn't being paid specifically for this, but if she's trying to drive traffic to Stanley to buy things on the same affiliate link that she is getting sponsored on, then it's still an ad, and she still didn't disclose, and that's illegal, right? And I'm just like, okay, Jaclyn, here it is. We're back to the same old thing. Like, here you were. I was hoping for you. I was hoping that you were going to do something different, and you didn't, right? So, I don't know. My battery died. Okay, what I was going to say was, I don't think that Jaclyn Hill will ever disclose until she is forced to disclose. And what I mean by that is, until she is fined heavily by the FTC. And now Jordan is doing it too, right? And interestingly enough, I have to tell you that several people reached out to me and were like, why are you not mentioning her sister and all of this kind of stuff? And I went and looked, and they said, she's the worst of all of it. And I went and looked at her sister's stuff, and her sister, oh my God, it's like a family deal over there. It's a family affair. Amazon links. They must get around at Thanksgiving and Christmas and just pass around spreadsheets of how much money they made off Amazon links. To me, it is unreal at this point, like how much they are linking to all this kind of stuff. I would really be interested to see how much Jaclyn Hill makes a year off of her affiliate links, how much Jordan makes a year off his affiliate links, how much they collectively make, how much her sister, I mean, you guys, they are making a lot of money. In fact, I was talking about this pan set that Jordan linked the other day that was like $490, something like that. And I said, you know, if he if he sells 10 of them, that's $4,900 or whatever. And you get like 3% per Amazon sale or something like that. And they said, do you realize that that's such and such amount of money? And I'm like, okay, the reality is though, that Jaclyn isn't just selling 10 of these. Jaclyn's selling thousands of these products. And some of the products that Jaclyn links are expensive. They are not $5 scrunchies. Some of the things that these Stanley cups are expensive, you guys, you know? And it was interesting because when I did that video yesterday, a lot of people were like, what is so great about these cups? I mean, they're basically like the same double-walled water cups that a lot of people drink out of, you know? So, I don't know. It's like, for everything for Jaclyn is luxury, you know? All right, the next thing is, I want to give Jaclyn a round of applause and a congratulations for making it into Oprah Daily's website, okay? So, I want to talk about this. I have it all geared up here, right here. I will show you, I'll throw the screenshots up here somewhere. But be cozy, because I had to kind of hunt to find all of this, you guys, to see what was really going on. So here's the deal. So Jaclyn posted on her Instagram story a post that Be Cozy, her luxury cozy brand, that they had posted on their thing, right? And so what it is it says, and here I'm putting it up here somewhere, Oprah Daily, and then it says number 6, hold on a second, best gift for the homebody, cozy stay home with me slippers, okay? And then when you go underneath here and you read from the article, hold on a second, I had the article all up here, hold on a second, okay. It says, staying at home sounds a lot nicer these days, especially in cold weather. For the friend or partner who enjoys the comfort of a night or weekend in, spoil them with these fuzzy slippers. And grab one for yourself so you can join them, okay? Which I think is whatever about these slippers. I mean, I showed that you can find dupes for these slippers for like 1/3 of the price on Amazon, okay? Whatever. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, these are the most fantastic slippers in the entire world. They're slippers, okay? You can go get them at Walmart. You can get them on Amazon for $10, right? So there was that. But then what was interesting about it was when you go underneath here, hold on a second, to Be Cozy's Instagram, they posted on here, gifting these slippers to anyone you love is at the top of our list. Thank you to Oprah Daily, and then they also tagged the author of the article on Oprah Daily for sharing with your readers. And then they hashtagged all these different things, right? Okay, now the majority of the comments, of which at the time that I looked, there were only 21, and it had been up for 9 hours. Okay, so because he's not getting a lot of traction on their page. I would say half of the comments were pretty nice, but then there were some interesting comments, okay? People are going to, hold on a second. Somebody said, people are going to learn that Oprah really doesn't try that product, and it talks about that. And somebody said, shame on you for stealing a brand, Jaclyn Hill. Stop supporting this and her. Somebody said, still ignoring the fact that you ruined another woman's brand, right? So people are still not forgetting this, okay? Now, I have to tell you, what's interesting to me, like I said, is that Oprah had just done an article the week before, because I looked on their favorites list. They had just done an article the week before on female-owned brands, okay, on these brands that were independently owned by women, and they listed like 30 things, right? Because I was trying to, like at first, I couldn't find the article. And I'll tell you how I found it in just a second, but I couldn't find the article because I was too stupid, because I was looking right at it. It was right in front of me and I didn't see it, right? So I was like, where is this article? I looked all over. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find anything about it. I didn't know why they tagged this person. They tagged this other person. I was like, why are they tagging this other person in it? I don't understand. I didn't get anything about it, right? And I'll tell you why when you go to her Instagram in just a second, okay? So I go over, and when you pull up, so on the Instagram story, they said read more about it here, and they had the link, okay? So here, I have the link pulled up right here from Oprah Daily. All the women-owned or founded businesses on Oprah's favorite things list. And here was the article that I was talking about last week, okay? But then, when you go into, hold on a second, I have it right here. 32 great 50th birthday gift ideas for your friend, spouse, or relative. A golden milestone calls for a special gift. And this is where I think her item is number 6 on here. Hold on a second. Number 6, the cozy stay home with me slippers. Now, I don't know how you get on this list. If you know, in Indianapolis, we have Indianapolis Monthly, okay? And in Indianapolis Monthly, they do like best restaurants, best doctors, best lawyers, best this, best that, right? And I believe, I have heard, okay, that how you get on that list is by buying advertisements, and that you have to buy advertisements to get into the magazine and things like that. And then you also have to pay to be on these lists. A lot of people are speculating that Jaclyn Hill paid to be on this list. I don't know. I have no idea if there's any truth to that whatsoever, okay? What I do find interesting is when you go and you look at these 30 different items on there, right? They don't really there's no rhyme or reason to these different items. And I have to believe that this is something that Oprah probably signed off on, right? But I do want to say this, okay? When you're talking about Jaclyn Hill, okay, and supporting and endorsing her brand, Jaclyn Hill has never come out and addressed the Kayla Nicholson situation. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, okay, what I'm talking about is when Jaclyn Hill came out and announced that she was gonna do this Be Cozy brand, Kayla Nicholson, who also had a brand, Cozy, very similar title and name, right, that she had used her Instagram, her YouTube, and everything to cultivate this kind of brand idea around, okay? She commented underneath Jaclyn's post. She tried to reach out to her and said, is there any way that you can consider something else? Because this is my brand, okay? And she even said in there, her concern when she came out and talked about it later was that Jaclyn Hill was gonna push her down in the SEO rankings and whatever. Well, shortly after that, when Because He came out, Jaclyn Hill, you could tell, she bought ads on Google. And so at the top, the first thing when you put in Cozy on Google was Jaclyn Hill was the first thing that came up. And Kaylin started getting pushed down, pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. Kaylin eventually came out and said that she's done with the Cozy brand and that she's going to rebrand herself and come back later, okay? So this girl who has worked really, really hard on building her career has to get rid of her brand, and people are like, well, she didn't trademark her brand and whatever. No, she didn't, okay? And she should have. You're absolutely right. You know, but when you're starting your business and things like that, you don't always know all of those things, right? You don't always know all of the moves and the shakes that you're supposed to do, you know? So the thing is, and I think it was Marlena Stell who said something to this effect, you know, does it mean that what Jaclyn Hill did was wrong? Was it, no. It doesn't even mean that it was necessarily, unethical. Was it kind? Absolutely not. You know, she could have reached out to her and said, hey, listen, I'm going to change my name enough so that it's not similar to yours. Girl, you need to trademark your name. Trust, I've been around long enough now as the CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics. Right, exactly. I've been around long enough now that I'm telling you, you need to trademark this or somebody other than me is going to come along and steal it, right? But thank you for reaching out to me. And as a woman who owns a business, speaking to another woman that owns a business, I want to support you. So I am going to continue to support you, and hopefully down the road we can work together at some point. But I am going to change my name because I think it's the right thing to do, you know? Or Jaclyn could have come out 15 million times and addressed it and said, it was too late. I already had the paperwork done. I already had legal draw up everything. It was too late for me to do it. I feel really bad for Jaclyn. I reached out to Jaclyn Nicholson personally. I talked to her on the phone. She didn't do any of that. Jaclyn Hill didn't do anything to be the right kind of person, okay? So then I have over here, this is my question, okay? I have over here Oprah Winfrey that has a magazine dedicated to supporting women. She has an article just the week before dedicated to supporting female-owned businesses, okay? And they have somebody in there that they are endorsing and supporting that has been criticized and scrutinized for never addressing what happened with Jaclyn Nicholson. And I'm very confused by this. I'm very confused if the author ever vetted Jaclyn Hill out or did she just pay for an ad in the magazine, okay? What's interesting to me about this, all right, is when you go to Be Cozy's Instagram, hold on a second, let me pull it up, okay? When you go to Be Cozy's Instagram story, okay, or Instagram, and you pull up the page that I showed you, and you read underneath here, and it says, and thank you to this author who wrote the article. And you go to this person's Instagram page, okay? And on here, and I'm not going to say her name, but it said, y'all can do your research yourself. Award-winning journalist, and it goes on to talk about how they have written for Huffington Post, Vogue, Teen Vogue, Glamour, Thrillist, Pop Sugar, Oprah, on and on and on, right? Now, when I read some of the articles, because she has posted underneath here, some of the articles that she has written in some of these different magazines, I'm telling you right now, I was blown away by the integrity and the importance of the profound articles that this author writes, okay? And honestly, I was kind of surprised that she writes these articles, and maybe it pays her bills, I don't know, but then she put together a list of 30 favorite things for a 50th birthday party. I was kind of blown away, okay? But the fact that an author like this, who is like really writing important, profound articles, okay, then doesn't vet out a woman business, a female-owned business owner not supporting another female-owned business owner, to me, and putting it in this article, knowing that Jaclyn Hill has been scrutinized for all of this, like, blew me away. I was kind of like, seriously? Like, this really makes me sad, you know? And this is the old game that I feel like the rich get richer and the famous get more famous and nobody cares and nobody calls it out and whatever. And who loses? The Jaclyn Nicholsons of the world. Who has to change their names? The Jaclyn Nicholsons of the world. Why? Why is that the case, you know? Okay, and here it is, and here's Jaclyn Hill, not disclosing. Jaclyn Hill doing this. Jaclyn Hill doing that, right? Getting richer, getting richer, getting richer, getting richer. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care about her audience. Hell, she can hardly even post a video on her YouTube, which is where her career started. And she can't even do that. And when she does, she links 39 Amazon links for you to purchase things so that she makes money off of your back, right? Of you working 2 jobs a day and putting food on your table for your kids. But she can never address this Jaclyn Nicholson thing. And then she wants to even say, look at me, I got an Oprah magazine. It breaks my heart for somebody like Jaclyn. And the thing is that this is not just the only time that this has happened in this industry. It happens all the time of people stealing other people's ideas. You know, we want to talk about artistic integrity. When you see, that was something I covered in many videos back in the day. You know, when somebody would take this and somebody else would cover it and somebody would do this and somebody else would cover, you know, and say it was their own and whatever. It's like that's a tale as old as time, you know, and not crediting people, not crediting looks. A lot of these makeup influencers got really, really famous by stealing the looks of smaller creators and not crediting them. James Charles did that a lot back in the day. We used to talk about it all the time. So no, we're not just talking about Jaclyn Nicholson and the whole Be Cozy situation, and we're not just talking about Jaclyn Hill being in Oprah magazine, okay? We're talking about creators having their artwork stolen, right? And whether that artwork is on your face or a pad of paper or it's a brand or even if it's just an idea, the fact is we should be supporting one another as entertainers, as artists, as creative people, instead of stealing each other's ideas. But I do want to share something with you, Jaclyn, and I hope, Jaclyn, you are watching this, okay? I had the opportunity years and years and years ago to interview Kelly Cutrone. And if you don't know who Kelly Cutrone is, Kelly Cutrone at the time owned the biggest fashion PR agency in the world, and it was called People's Revolution. Kelly Cutrone was on the Hills, and she also had her own reality television show called Kel on Earth. She also wrote a book called If You Have to Cry, Go Outside. It's fantastic, okay? And my husband and I got to interview her at the time. And when I interviewed her on the phone, I said to her, I have a question for you. What do you do when other people steal your ideas? And she laughed and she said, I let them have them because obviously they have no original ideas of their own. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.